Hello friends, family, and other creatures of the sea. Welcome back to a new game. Today we're going to be having a look at a cheeky game played between Scarlett and Neeb here on Romanticide. The map of... what is this the map of? Tends to be the map of rather long games. So I see myself a Neeb versus Scarlett game on Romanticide, and I think to myself, this has some potential. This potentially has some potential. You know, there is a chance that this has potential. It could also just be a pretty boring game. It is completely possible, and that is the beauty of this. Romanticide is going to be a map at which the Protoss has a relatively easy 3 bases. Once the Protoss starts thinking about a 4th base, it becomes a little trickier. These rocks can get taken down and all that good jazz. We'll see what Neeb decides to go for. When I think of Neeb, I think of someone that likes to sit back and do very little. When I think of Scarlett, I think of someone that likes to attack and do a lot. So when these styles clash, I'd say that Scarlett is the main aggressor. It will be the person who will be doing most of the attacking, and Neeb will be doing the majority of the defending. Which is why a lot of people like to watch Scarlett, of course. Her aggressive playstyle. She used to be more known as a very big macro player. To be fair, all Zergs and Wings of Liberty were macro players by default. You got 3 investors out and the game kind of ended in your favor. But yeah, she was extremely good at that crap. Just sitting back and doing nothing. Nowadays she's got a little bit more aggressive. Put a little bit of power in those attacks. We'll see if that's going to be the case this time around as well. Romanticide, of course, not really a great map for attacking, I have to admit. 3rd base going down at 34 supply. That is then after the 3rd queen. Yep. 3rd queen goes down at the 3rd base, and then 3rd hatchery will start as well at the same time. Stargate. Was this post-warp gate? I think this was, right? Was this 25 seconds? This is what, 32? 38. Okay, but it's not a Stalker opener, so what's the point? Usually the point of getting a fast warp gate before Stargate is that you're trying to hide the fact that you're getting a Stargate. If you're not following it up with a Stalker, yeah, the trick isn't really that great, because the Zerg could potentially just scout, and seeing adept to depth isn't that scary. Like, you can just fly in with your Overlord, and thus TOS needs to get a Void Ray as the first unit. So this is just a delayed Void Ray. Now, the reason for this could be that Neeb wants to get a Twilight Council after this and go for a little bit of a glaive timing, or he wants to do an early push with 4 or 5 adepts, like Void Ray, Oracle, 4 adepts, and then woohoo, let's see what happens, you know. It's also a possibility. Now when Oracle's coming out, the probe gets sniped, good snipe there out of Scarlett, who is good link control so far. Lost about 3-4 links. Only a single, she did have 4 links. 4 links gets a probe. Loses 1, that's a very good deal. That's the type of deal that is described in Art of the Deal as well. Of course, Scarlett must have read that book. Otherwise, how would she be able to micro something like that? That was ridiculous. 2nd Stargate coming down before +1. Before 3rd Stargate unit as well. Huh. That's interesting. Is this going to be Phoenix then? This feels like a Phoenix opener. If this ain't Phoenix, then I don't know what it is, because it looks weird. Neeb actually floating a little bit of money as well. It's not really using it, which also is a little bit weird. 4 workers have gone down right now at this point, and we haven't really seen... Oh, actually, 2 adepts died. I completely missed that. My apologies. Okay, it's double Void Ray, but no +1. What are we looking at here, Neeb? Enlighten us. This is something that I don't see a whole lot. So the main trend in Korea is that you just rush out a quick +2, and you get a couple of Void Rays out, and you get a 2nd Stargate, and you can go into whatever you want. You can play Forged Twilight, you can go into Robo, you can go into 3rd Stargate and Fleet Beacon. All of that stuff is definitely allowed, but all of it is also with +1, because why would you get a 2nd Stargate if you don't want to get a lot of Void Rays? And if you're getting a lot of Void Rays, why wouldn't you want to get +1? So basically the +1 just kind of follows naturally out of the 2nd Stargate, because you're going to be getting a bunch of Void Rays that probably want to be doing some amount of damage at least. What's the queen count actually here? 7 queens, and none of them were in position. I guess that's the nice thing about not starting +1, is that your opponent isn't sure if it's actually going to be mass void race. Map vision out of Scarlett's a little bit poor, by the way. Only a single ling on the map. No patrolling lings over here, no patrolling ling over here, no patrolling ling over here. It's going to be difficult for her to respond appropriately to all of these incoming threats. Is this going to be infestation pit going down? We're on 6 gas right now. Nah. There's no way, right? Is it going to be swarmies? Nah. Okay, hive. Thank God. I was afraid for a second. See, very late fort base because they got cancelled a couple of times. Like once or twice. I think just once actually. I was getting a little bit scared there. I am not going to lie. So, Neeb build a second Stargate to only go up to 5 void rays. This is incomprehensible to me, obviously. Oh, wait, what? Microbial. So, the reason why I'm confused is not because I'm seeing infestors, okay? Infestor with quick hive with double evo is relatively common. The thing that confuses me is perhaps the range upgrades for the queens. So she'll get what, melee and range maybe? Maybe a third evo would be sick as well. Get up to 5 base, 10 gas, triple evo it. We're going for carapace instead, and we see a spire coming down here. So queens are going to be the initial answer to the air. Scarlett hasn't really scouted much yet. Here comes the overseer now with that pneumatized carapace. Definitely will be able to help out. This bad boy's gonna go into the main base. I always like it when that type of stuff happens. Fort base is gonna get cancelled, and what's gonna happen here actually? Hard to say. Not much. I don't think she sees anything of interest here. I mean, she saw a robo bay. Actually, she didn't see the robo bay. But there's nothing there, so all she needs to do is just build units, and that's exactly what she's doing. I'm just looking at what Neeb is doing, and I'm not understanding it at all. Like, this timing is so late, and it's obviously so late. Like, the Robo-Bay is cute, but it's... Like, the transition should be happening already. This fort base was extremely slow. It went down at what, like 740? No, about 730 actually. 740-ish maybe. 737, something like that. Scarlett's gonna push into this. Like, Neeb in his head is doing an all-in. And now Neeb is the one under attack. This is one of these weird scenarios where you believe you're in the Twilight Zone. It's like, wait, what? I'm the one that's attacking. Go back home. What are you doing? Behind this, Scarlett's also just massively attacking. It's a little bit of a fake attack. A lot of units did get forced by Neeb, but it's only good to force out your opponent's units if you can then counter those units, and that's just not the case. Neeb just has no units that fight well. We're 9 minutes into the game. There is no major AoE. Like, we have a couple of Archons. Technically, Neural Parasite could be out already, so it's super scary for him to just push in here. This army freaking sucks. Holy crap. And Scarlett is looking at this and says, well, what is this garbage? It's going into a greater spire now. Actually, if Scarlett gets out 5, 6 Broodlords, manages to push across the map, what is there that Neeb has? The answer is absolutely nothing. He has nothing. He's dead. Now he's getting +2 and Storm? I just don't understand where his resources went. This army is complete garbage. He's getting a Zealot run by set up at this point. Ooh, that's a... From the balcony, the Infestor hitting... trying to hit a fungal. Got one of the Archons, a little bit of damage. Smells funky, his friends will stay away from him. This is one of the latest transitions I've seen in my life for how passive Neeb has been. I just don't understand. We have a double Zealot run by coming in. There's plenty of spines here to deal with those 5 Zealots. Now, is there enough to deal with this? Yeah, 6 spines. These Zealots won't be able to do much. You send 10 links there and that should be cleaned up. 17 Banelings right now are being built. Where's that? It's over here, so wanting to go for a bit of a run by. Is +2 melee done yet? No way, right? Yeah, there's no... Okay, there's 1 melee upgrade. Is there even... Okay, there's triple Evo, 1 melee upgrade. And right now Neeb is trying to get rid of his crap units so he can start building units that actually matter. There's not a single Viper yet. And Scarlett isn't quite sure what to do. And I can kind of feel that, even though in these moments I think it would be nice to take a little bit of initiative and maybe do something aggressive then, or try to get some map control, try to get some momentum, because I mean this army is really, really bad. It's just a bad army. Like there's no two ways around it. Like it's just, this army sucks. We have 11 corruptors on the way. Yeah, I like that. I like that. We have a Viper as well. And now you want to get rid of a bunch of your roaches and your banelings. Yep, this is completely the correct call here out of Scarlett. I love this play. So she's going to throw away a bunch of the supply while trying to stay alive. The problem is maybe with the staying alive, well, it's going to be a little bit harder. Probably this base should be given up. Good fumbles, good bio control as well. This army is garbage at pushing forward though. Viper not quite in position. What is this army doing? Hello, we need to start fighting. Need to start a base trade. Hello? It's fine to lose a base if at the same time you're also killing a base and you're transitioning into Brood Lords. All of that stuff is completely okay. Do need to move a little bit faster though, Scarlett. These cannons now are going to be going down. A lot of these probes will fall as well. Zealot Warpin will try to save the day. I don't think that's going to be possible. Brood Lords are about to finish up and a lot of the queens have gone down. So where is the anti-air? Is it still here? Is it... well... the anti-air is, I guess, plenty with these corruptors and the couple of queens that were still alive. Archon's now trying to push forward into these Broodlords. Actually doing a pretty decent job as well, as these Broodlords are taking a bunch of damage. Scarlett's getting pretty poor as well. She did kill a lot of workers here. Didn't lose a whole lot of workers herself. I feel like if she would have hit that a little bit quicker and just given up this base and said, okay, you're on 5, I'm on 6. We trade one base for one base. That means you lose 20% of your bases and I only lose... what is 1/6? 16.666? Something like that, I think, no? 3. Yeah, that sounds about correct. You lose, and I lose 16.66% of my bases. Oh, it's very scary when I have to do the mental mathematics. I'm never a true star of mathematics. Alright, we have this 6 o'clock going down as well, so that's going to be the 7th base. And I honestly believe that Scarlett could have pushed. I honestly... look how terrible this army looks. Look how small it is. Tiny and puny and sad and pathetic. At least one base could have taken down. And if you take this base out, automatically what you do is you open up a run-by potential to one of the other bases. Because you attack this base, where will the Protoss army go? Either here or here. Which means the other base is going to be semi-undefended, except by some cannons. But you can just run by some Banes there and you can take this crap out as well. So... You attack one base, you get a second one for free, basically. And then all of a sudden, you take out 40% of your opponent's bases, while taking out 0% of your own bases. That was a bit of easier calculation there mentally for me. That's why I managed to do it so fluidly. Neural Parasite finally being researched as well. Adrenal Glands, a little bit slow there for Scarlett, who has mainly been focused on getting spines over spores so far. Neeb gets a big Zealot run by in. Scarlett a little bit flustered perhaps, not quite knowing what to do. And there's no real ground force either to deal with this. This is why so often we see a couple of ultras being mixed in these days. Just so you can deal with this type of run bys. Your main army can mirror the movement of your opponent's main army, and these ultras deal with every other threat that has ever lived. And he's going to be taking this 6th base as he continues rotating towards a different side, trying to get a couple of creep tumors down. Never want to keep too many creep tumors out on the map. Creep tumors are annoying. Pretty powerful unit, the creep. 4 extra Stargates as well coming down right now. There's 3 out already. That will bring the total up to 7. +3 is being researched here on this cybernetics core. The upgrades for Scarlett here. Well, actually for air aren't that great. 2-2 on the way for air though, and her 3-3-3 is also about to finish up. With Adrenal Glands, any type of Ling run by that ever does get to touch a probe, a Nexus, or anything that isn't a cannon powered by a battery and 10 other cannons is just straight up going to fall. The Zergling with Crack, or the Zergling with the Adrenal Glands, or the Crackling, however you want to call it, is one of these units that's just so insanely cost efficient in the late game. So insanely cost efficient. Like, You get a group of 12, 13 of these guys on like 2 cannons, you absolutely destroy it. It's just own it. It will look ridiculous. The upgrades on them are so powerful. And Scarlett is happily sitting on 7 bases and earlier still on 94 drones after having built a couple of covering half the map in spores. Well, actually just cutting the map in half. She now is a little poorer. Neeb now also needs to start his own defensive structure. I remember one time there was a gameplay between Snoot and Neeb on a map that was called Invader, where Neeb just kept throwing down more and more stasis wards, and Snoot tried killing Neeb with like Ultralisk and then a Brute Lord switch and then an Ultralisk switch. I think the game was like legit 60 minutes or something like that. Such an insane game actually. Actually a really insane game. Probably really boring as well. Most long games are actually relatively boring, but it is what it is. I'd love to see that. Yeah, I think it was played in 2016, maybe 2017. Peak of Neeb and the peak of Snoot. Legendary stuff. Alright. We have a couple of Tempests, no Mothership though, which is surprising, I would say. Even if it's just for the recall, it is a very useful thing to have. That was the absolutely most ambitious thing I've seen in my life. Abducting an Archon where you only have Corrupt or Viper doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Probably a bit of a misclick. Wanted to go for that Tempest, of course. I like the... I know we need to send a run by. Like, cannons by themselves aren't that great. If there's an army, however, that is pretty freaking great. Now these Archons are also going to be moving here. I don't know. I don't think that army actually can achieve much by itself. And the reason for that is this unit. The Infestor. The Infestor has an ability called Neural Parasite. You neural a couple of Archons and this army completely falls apart. And that is exactly what Scarlett wanted to do. That's why these bad boys were moving over there. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys. Well, 5 more batteries on the way, Mothership as well. Ooh, the gas is mining out in the natural. There's more. Ooh, okay, this is the Neeb Classic. This is the Neeb Classic. This is the late game battery rush that he loves to do. He just cuts the map in half with batteries, cannons, and all that other crap. And he just sieges a base with Tempest and batteries. That's literally all he does. And then he starts pushing them forward. So he takes out this base, he'll start making another bunch over here. I absolutely love this. This is really fun to watch. If you're at Protoss and you're not the one dying to Tempest from a large distance. Because, oh, Fungal! No Fungal. Tough luck. One good way to break this is very often you can do something with run-bys on the other side. Or even sending your Broodlords to the other side can be very helpful. We see Neeb is just keeping a defensive force there. A pretty large defensive force, might I add, to deal with those run-bys. Oh, he's gonna get 2, 3 Tempests taken out. Scarlett throws a Fungal on some of these units as well. Now starts pushing forward with these Broodies. And Neeb says to himself, hey, this is not what I signed up for. And it indeed isn't what he signed up for. Just kind of lose a bunch of crap here, honestly. It's kind of frustrating. Just set up that entire wall, and then now it's just going to die to a couple of Broodlords. Does have this run-by going in as well at the same time. Is there anything there for Scarlett to fight? No. The answer is no for now. 5 more Tempests are on the way. These Broodlords, however, are pushing forward. Neeb is losing a decent amount of money here. Units lost is in favor of Scarlett here. The only problem is that there's not that many Infestors left. On the other hand, we do have 8 Templar. 3 of those are on the other side trying to harass. Good feedbacks on all the Vipers. 1 more Tempest will go down, but so will this base. And this army somehow managed to go there unchecked. If you can take the Archons out, the rest of the army is horse crap. But I don't think she's going to be able to take out the Archons that easily. Now a couple of fungals to try and get a safe retreat, but I don't think this retreat is going to be the safest. Oh, Neeb, you need to be so careful here, buddy. Without cannons and batteries. Whoa. These were some nice storms. These were some nice storms. Is there still enough larva? There's only 3 larva remaining. What's the queen count? 2 queens. Oh, the ladies better get to injecting and get to work. We don't have enough larva. 30 more links on the way. And Scarlett once again is moving forward, but there's Tempest here, of course. There's no real detection. Detection is in the back. Oh my god, these storms are hitting absolutely everything. All of these Broodlords are gonna get taken out. So will a lot of these Void Rays, though. Scarlett is absolutely plummeting in supply. Same time, this army is still going ham, and Scarlett just kind of decided to ignore it, which is a very odd call. She will be able to take out these Tempest. What is the reinforcement ability here for Neeb? He has 10 gateways, 7 Stargates. As 6 Void Rays and a single Tempest are being pushed out. Battery will help out here as well, of course. Scarlett's gonna try to break this, but there's so much money in the bank. No larva. Death by lack of production, not because of money. Oh no. That is so frustrating. That is like dying of hunger while you have $50,000 in the bank. It's like you have the money. You just, for whatever reason, can't get to the shop. Oh, 9 more Broodlords on the way. This is looking really poor, though. All of these units are still alive as well. There's still 4k in the bank. Absolutely fine. Now, this fight wasn't good for Scarlett. Don't get me wrong. You see, Scarlett is down all of a sudden by a solid 8 to 9,000 resources. And this army still is alive as well. There's still a single storm. GG gets caught. Scarlett decides to tap out with 8k resources still in the bank. A complete lack of production, preventing her from spending any of that money. And Neeb takes the game. Alright, that's gonna be it for today. I hope you had a great time. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all next time for more videos. Bye bye.